So I've had a lot, a lot of people ask me random questions. Like they'll come to my stream about my video, my no delay video, one of my most recent ones that I just made. And a lot of these questions are, not the, craziest questions, but as you can see here, I get it in my comments too. And I get it a lot, a lot. And it's like every other comment is a comment about, what res I use on top of, what to do with timer resolution. Do I leave it open in the background? And just all kinds of stuff like that. And, I'm trying to go through the comments and just do it, answer the comments as best as I can. And it's just so many, it's just impossible. So I'm going to go ahead and make another video on settings, I've already covered. So a lot of this, if you understand, what I did, how I did it, then this video isn't really for you, but this is going to help you with no delay, how to use it the correct way and get the best delay with all the settings. So as I did in my last video, I started with timer resolution. So, what timer resolution does is I'm going to go ahead and just, tell you, okay, as you can see, I have it right here in the middle of my screen. Mine says 500 milliseconds. When you open up timer resolution for the first time, you're just going to look just like this. Okay, it's going to look like this. It's going to say 1,000, whatever it says up here at the top. Who knows? And it'll say the maximum resolution. Click maximum, okay? As you see, sometimes it doesn't say 500 all the time. It might take a few clicks. Click it twice, boom, 500. That right there is exactly where you want it. You want it to say 500. And essentially, what timer resolution does, for those of you that don't know, your monitor has pixels. And that's what resolution is. It's pixels on the screen. And it just clears up the pixels, which makes your screen look smoother, makes your game run better, and overall gives you less delay. That's just how that works. Having this open in the background is another question I get over and over again. You do not click this X. I've had a lot of you say, hey, I'm closing timer resolution, and it's just resetting back to 1,000. That's because you're clicking this X. Then we're like, oh, let me open up timer resolution. It's back to 1,000. So clicking the X is not how you do it. Okay, you click maximum, 500. You click minimize. This thing right here, if you hover over it, it even says minimize. You minimize it, right? And then as I tab out, you see the little white bar underneath it. That's how you know you have it open. Okay, you click on it, boom. Mine still says 500. That is how you do timer resolution. You don't close it. You don't do none of that. You don't hit default. You don't hit close. A lot of people are probably hitting close or hitting the X. You maximize it and then minimize it, okay? And that's how you do that. And, it gives you so much less delay. I want to cover some more things. A lot of people said they don't even realize the difference when they turn on timer resolution. So the reason for that is everyone's PC is different, okay? Some people run at just different speeds. Some people have a really bad PC. Some people have a decent PC. Some people have the worst, PC in the world or the best PC in the world, And if you have a really good PC, the odds of you feeling it are a little bit lower than others. Because usually if you have a good PC, you have decent setup. You have a good monitor, all kinds of stuff like that. So having that, is a benefit. And timer resolution isn't like the biggest thing in the world. It does always help you though. It will still always be there helping. It's going to give you less delay, and even if you don't feel it, the less delay is there, okay? It will be there. And then after I talked about timer resolution in this video, I talked about filter keys. Now, what filter keys is, it's, a little bit more confusing. There's a lot more to it. It's what I just pulled up, and I do use this as well. I want to go over the settings. These settings, okay, that I have, you need to copy these, okay? I do not recommend messing around with any of the settings. You can. I don't know what it does, okay? I have no clue what any of the settings does if you mess around with it. So I would do exactly what I have. Right here is exactly what I use. A lot of people said they don't have an apply button. I have no clue what that's about because the apply button is right here. I mean, you see it, like I have it up. And you hit save. Once you have all these settings, you click save right here. Save to registry. It's right underneath when applied. And then you hit apply. Then you hit OK. That is it. It closes by itself. It does not need to be open in the background because there's no way to have it open in the background. Unless you might be able to click off and it'll be open, but you do not need it in the background. You hit this, apply, OK. All right. Now, what this does, okay, is, hold on, let me show you what this does. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All right. What this does is it helps with, clicking keys. So when you click a key, boom, just a normal, L, 1, 2. But when you have filter keys on, okay, you click a key, sometimes it does that, right? It'll do it more than once. It'll do it a few times. That's because when you're editing, like my edit button's E, boom, I click E. When I'm editing fast, sometimes it will double it, which pretty much just doubles your edit speed. It's like hard to explain, but it works. And when you're typing, sometimes you might type a little bit like too much of what you're trying to say, like too many T's, too many A's, you might misspell stuff. That's because filter keys is clicking the key really fast. It also allows you to do this. So let's type just a bunch of random stuff, right? Copy it, and you just spam this, right? That's what filter keys does. It keeps clicking it as fast as it can, right? I'm just holding Control V and just gonna keep pasting. That's what filter keys does. It, just does everything really fast, and it double clicks everything. And it's just really good for editing, double edits especially, because when you're doing a double edit, you're clicking your edit button like more than once, right? So double clicking E, right, essentially makes it click a bunch of times. So editing is really fast for you, right? And another thing you need to keep in mind, filter keys, it's in the name, filter keys. It does not work for a controller. So asking me if filter keys works for controller is a little, a little weird because it's called filter keys. But yeah, that's another question I got quite a bit, and I thought, some of this stuff, it's a little bit, hard to just go through and answer in comments all the time. So I'm making a whole video on it. But yes, and all these two things that I've named so far, so both of these things will help you out a lot if you're having delay problems. And I know a lot of people in the comments say there's no such thing as a zero delay, and you're not wrong. You will always have a little bit of delay, but what this does is brings that little bit of delay to a little bit less delay, pretty much, and it makes it really good. You'll just have advantages over everybody you're fighting. Like, let's say you're 1v1 of your friends, and they don't know about this stuff. You're just gonna absolutely just run through them because your delay is just 3 times better than theirs. With just these 2 apps, like that's not any in-game settings changed. That's nothing. It's just 2 apps that you download. Really easy to set up. You have it open in the background, and it's done. And another thing I want to cover, I've had a lot of questions about exit lag. A lot of people think you'll get banned for using it. I'm going to show you. I have this open at all times and running Fortnite. And the way you know it's running is when this little red button is glowing. If it's not glowing, it's off. Okay? I went over all my settings, the best settings for all of this. I'm going to go ahead and do it again. So if you want to copy, boom, here's all the good settings for tools. Just copy these. These are the best settings. Some may change for you. Some are different for everybody, but these have been the best settings for me. FPS boost, everything else I did not touch. I don't touch any of this. And if you copied my settings exactly how I have it, you can click this X and it's closed. It'll be down here, and you have to click this up arrow. It's down here. That's the only way to open it. Okay, so it's just it's closed. And exit lag brings your ping from let's say you rock like 10 ping, and bring your 10 ping down to like 5. It brings it down, not a lot, but, it brings it down. It also helps with FPS, and it helps with delay as well, I've noticed. Because without it, I do feel it on, and I do feel it off. I can feel the difference in delay. Because I'm a big, delay person. I'm all about, my delay. I can feel it all the time when it's bad. And it sucks, because once you get into the stuff about your delay, when it's bad, you know when it's bad. Another thing I want to go over is my settings. I've had a lot of people ask me what colorblind I use. I'm going to go ahead and show you why I use Deuteronope 5 and why it's such a good colorblind to use. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to load up into a zone war. And I'm going to just show you the differences in the zone. Alright, so I'm going to do that real quick. So now that I'm in the zone war, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the differences in the zone. Okay? The way this works is it makes the zone a lot more see-through. As you can see, I can see through this zone perfectly on Deuteronope 5, which is what I use. You can see out of it. You can see when you're doing edits, you can literally see, everything through zone. You'll see people just fine. Colors of people pop. Everything's just, a lot more visible, okay, compared to when it's off. I mean, zone, yeah, it's still see-through, but it's very bright. It's kind of annoying when you're looking for people, because it's a little bit just, you know, harder to see through, in my opinion. It makes like builds a little bit, you know, it just makes everything a little bit harder to see through when you use normal. Okay. All the other ones, all they do is brighten your game. So the one with this one right here, this is brighter. Yeah, you can see through zone. I'm not a fan of this one at all. You know, I know a lot of people like this one, but it's really not, you know, the best when it comes to our colorblind. And then the last one, right? So you go to this, which just makes your game extremely bright. Like, this is just bright, and looking through zone is kind of annoying. So when you have, you know, go here. When you have, you know, Deuteronope 5, I think it's the best. I think this one is by far, it darkens it, but makes it more visible and clear to see through. And you can just see so much more of this colorblind. You can see literally everything. So that's what colorblind I use. I use Deuteronope 5, and in my opinion, I think it is the best colorblind to use for literally everything. I mean, comp, zone wars, whatever you want to play that has a zone, it just helps. You can see people a lot better through builds and all kinds of stuff. Alright, you know, now that I've been over timer resolution and the majority of the questions you guys have with that, I've been over filter keys and how that works, what settings to use, the apply button. I've been over my color blinds. There's just one more thing that had a lot of questions, is my resolution. In the video that I pulled, you know, was going through doing comments. You know, my most viewed video right now, I think as of right now, it's at 20,000 views. Everybody's like, what res are you using? What, and all kinds of stuff like that. Basically what I used was 1750 by 1080. As you can see, I don't use that anymore. I'm back onto native. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a rundown of how to set that up. It's really easy. So you open up this and you type this in. % local app data %. You could type that right here, or you could type it in the search bar and hit OK. Alright, it brings up this right here. This is one of the ways to do it. It brings this up. Alright, you scroll down to see Fortnite game. Mine's a little bit more than halfway down. Double click it. Alright, and then, hold on, I'm going to move it over here. You open up saved, and then you go to config, Windows client, game user settings. Okay, it'll pull this up. Okay, this is your game user settings. And what I do, which is, I think, the easiest way. I think you can only do this on Windows 11 because I'm stuck on Windows 11. I go to File, or I go to Edit, sorry. I go to Find, and boom, 1750 by 1920. That's what I had. You put what you want at the top, 1920 at the bottom. And you hit Replace All, okay? So anything that's 1920 will get replaced by 1750, okay? I hit Replace All. I click it usually a few times. You scroll down, 1920 by 1080. Now put 1920, 1750. Okay. Hit replace all. So I had it backwards at the beginning. I'm sorry. The top one is what you had. The bottom one's what you're replacing it with. Sorry. Find. All right. Then scroll down. Boom. Everything is now 1750. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know. But it's all 1750 by 1080 now. Every single one should be that. Let's see if I can find another one. 1750, 1750. It's all 1750 by 1080. Okay. If you want to put it back, you just, you know, put it back. And then you go up here, you click File, you click Save. All right. That's one way to do it. There's another way to do it, which is, I think, the most annoying way to do it, is you go to your NVIDIA control panel if you have NVIDIA. Okay. Only if you have it. Because if you don't have it, you quite literally can't do this. Okay. And you go to change resolution, and you just make one here. Okay. This is how I did it at first, but it is really annoying. And it's just not something I like doing. You hit customize, create custom resolution, and then basically you just change this 1920 to 1750 or whatever you want. Okay. You could test it, and then once you're done, you just hit OK. And that's that. And then you pick it on here. It'll be in this list once you're done. And you just pick it. It's very easy. It changes your entire monitor, not just your game. Because when I'm playing the actual game, only my game is changed, not my entire monitor, which is, you know, how I like it. But that's the end of the video. I hope this answered all your questions, or at least some of them. If you have more questions, go ahead and just drop it in the comments. I'll try my best to respond. But that covers everything you need to know for my zero delay stuff that I use, and how to get probably the best zero delay you can have as of right now.